Has anyone ever told you, wow, aren't you lucky? And then you stand back and say, well, yes, I was prepared to take advantage of that situation when that narrow window of opportunity became available. If you want to call that luck, then I'm lucky. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, how often are you prepared to take advantage of those opportunities? Mostly in your professional career, when you think about that. Now, I ask that question because we focus a lot within Toastmasters in communication and leadership. Most of us have viewed this as a way of improving ourselves, but have you really challenged yourself of, am I getting the most out of this program based on what it's available to me? Now stand back and think. From a career perspective, there will be some people who will say, well, it's not what you know, but who you know. In some ways they might be correct, but I really contend that it's what's about who knows you, and more particularly, how do they observe you in your communication and leadership? Well, why is that? For you see, within this country of ours, upward mobility is dependent upon an individual's ability to communicate and lead. It's how others observe us on how they interpret our abilities to do that. It's not about us going off and saying, hey, I need a job, do this. No, others will say, we have opportunities here. And I remember, I've seen you in that. And people will seek you out based on how they've observed you. To step out of your comfort zone in the area of communication and leadership is what enables others to know who you are. And I think that that's very important to be able to understand that. Now, most people have come into Toastmasters thinking we're a communication organization. They think public speaking, that's what it is. But you notice the new tagline, where leaders are made. We're spending a lot more effort on focusing on leadership development. In fact, I contend that leaders inspire action. That's what it is. We can always evaluate leadership skills and traits, but at the end of the day, we're measured on how well do we inspire others to take action. So if you look at leadership, you look at communication. How much time did you spend in your academic education developing communication and leadership skills? Well, really think about that. In fact, when most people think of education, we think back to 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. Well, there's actually 2 things that deal with communications, reading and writing. But you realize that in everyday life, reading and writing is composed of less than 25% of our communication. In fact, we spend far more time speaking and listening. How many of you took a speech class by the time you left high school? Wow. So how many of you ever took a listening class? But yet we spend most of our communication time listening. Speaking's the next one. And we are addressing both listening and speaking in this organization here. But think about leadership as the other aspect of it. It's a culmination of communication and many other skills that we bring together. And again, we focus on the development and enhancement and honing of skills within communication and leadership within this organization. Now, some people, the newer members, might think, how will Toastmasters help me do that? I don't really understand. In fact, you probably don't really understand all the program. You've attended a few meetings and saying, is this all there is to it? That, you know, we have programs, we give speeches, we receive evaluation, we have prepared speeches, we have impromptu speeches. Is that what it is? I'm here to tell you there's a whole lot more to this program. But do you have to fully understand Toastmasters to benefit from it? The answer is no. In fact, most people here don't understand everything there is about electricity. But that's never stopped you from going over to the light switch and believing and knowing that because somebody else has evolved a technology that I can use without understanding, I can simply flip on the switch and it's going to work for me. Toastmasters International has been evolving our programs for over 85 years so that you can literally flip on a switch by saying, yes, I want to participate in the program. I don't have to understand everything there is to know about it, but I have to start. We've already heard about the district conference. How many of you have ever attended a district conference? Wow, that's actually good, because I will say that's a higher percentage of mini clubs. You've already stepped out of your comfort zone by understanding that there's more to this than just the club. Understand, though, that the club environment is the most important thing that we have. For it is within the club that we provide our primary products and services of Toastmasters International. So it's important that our clubs are successful. We have over 33,000 clubs around the globe, and we are growing. But it's down here in this club that you care about how successful you are to meet the needs of our members. So let's ask that question. How are we meeting that? You have the program here. How many times do you step out of the basic program and start conducting some of our success leadership modules or success communication modules? Do you ever do that? You know what some of those are. Give me an example of some of the ones that you've conducted.
I did Evaluate to Motivate a month or two ago.
Great. And that's very important. Have you ever done one of the better club series, such as Moments of Truth?
It's about a year and a half, 2 years.
Good. You've got new members in here, you might want to re-ask how we're doing on that. The Better Club series, the Better Speaker series, Success Leadership, Success Communication. These are modules that are intended to be conducted by club members that I suggest you, many of them should be opened up to the bigger corporation. MITRE employees would benefit by this club conducting that and actually advertising that. Think about the success leadership modules to be able to do that. It does two things for you. Number one, it actually provides programs and benefits to people, and MITRE as a corporation would benefit from this employee-run club, and that's of great value to them. But it also lets people know there's a lot more to Toastmasters than they ever envisioned. Now, most of us believe that education is a lifelong journey. I believe Toastmasters is as well. It's not an overnight success. If you think you're going to come in here and receive all the silver bullets and you're going to walk out in a few months and say, yep, I'm it. Last year I celebrated my 30th anniversary in Toastmasters. Now, as a military officer, I've moved around a lot, and I've met my wife through Toastmasters. She was in one district, I was in LA, she was in Canada. We couldn't afford a date, we had to get married. That was 23 years ago. Now, that's a benefit that many people didn't ever think about by being in Toastmasters. But the point is that there's been many opportunities afforded to me by being in Toastmasters that I said yes. I'm serving as region advisor for yet again another region, and it was simply because I was asked. Having done that before, I said yes. A lot of people will say, it sounds like work, but you know what? I have benefited every time I've taken on a job, from a club officer position to a district officer position. Think about stepping out of your comfort zone, because it is a lifelong journey. And at the end of the day, I have to ask you, do you feel lucky? Mr. Toastmaster.